Hello, everyone. Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. It's one of those days in July in 2023, and we don't have to get more specific because today we are doing something we haven't done for a while, not since I moved to Maine, and that is having a subscriber spotlight. Now, when we have a subscriber spotlight, it's someone that's maybe not necessarily interested in being rich and famous, but just someone that interacts in our comments and watches the channel. And we wanted people to be able to put a face with a name and maybe learn a couple of interesting things about that person. Now, what's going to be different about today's subscriber spotlight, my moderator, Julie, who occasionally helps with content items, actually lives in the same town as our subscriber. And they're together on camera today, which is probably a one-time thing because most of us are spread out all over the planet. So I'm going to say a big welcome to my moderator, Julie, and our guest today, Debbie Stringfellow, and they're joining us from Utah. Hi.
Hi, everyone. You can say my city even. I live in Magna, Utah.
And
we're about 20 minutes apart, so pretty close.
Yeah. Well, Debbie, we were talking before we went on camera, and I know there's a couple of things we'd like to focus on and let you kind of share with people watching this. And I understand that you are an avid quilter, and as well, you also do some healing by way of massage therapy. So which of those would you like to explore first?
Ooh, I don't know, because equally they're my passion. So I've been a massage therapist for 28 years, so maybe that first, because I've been doing that the longest.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I live perfect days. My massage room is right there, 20 feet away. Yeah. So I'm massaging or I'm 10 feet away from my sewing machine. So it's I do live perfect days. I love that.
It's always nice when we can pursue our passions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. Like I said, I've been doing this for 28 years. I'm just this side of 70. But the most important thing is that my body's still allowing me to do what I love to do.
Yeah.
And still do it, I'm told, well. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. Now, your quilting is another passion that you have, and I see a beautiful one behind you. If you could talk a little bit about, was it a family skill that was passed down to you? Did you take a class? And how has this become a passion, and how do you pursue this craft?
Bless my loving, patient mother, which I was not with my daughter, sadly. But she did when I was young, taught me how to sew, kept after me to, make those seams straight, and bless her heart, that's where it started. I remember we were required to take home ec in 7th grade, I think. And I got A's and helped everybody else learn how to use a sewing machine. So, because of my mom. So cool. That's where it started.
That's a beautiful quilt behind you.
Thank you. When my kids were growing up, they had my daughters all had matching clothes, because at that time it saved money to sew clothes. It saved money in it. Now it doesn't. So, and quilting is a passion, and it's not to save money. It's a very expensive hobby.
Timely and
yep. So, but it's fun.
yeah.
Actually, you know what though? I have a friend, real fast. I have a friend who I have convinced to use her skills, and she just found some old blocks that her mom, before she passed away, had started to put together. My friend Patty finished them up, and then we took them the other day to get the backing and stuff for it. She found out that her mom had used feed sacks to make a portion of this quilt. So it doesn't have to be expensive. That was my point to that. So
very sentimental. So tell us about this beautiful quilt.
So
wow.
I started that in 2020. right at the time that I was learning about the letter 17.
Good job.
Right? Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm learning and like listening while I'm sewing. And so there are 17 birds.
I was counting them. I saw that.
Yeah.
17 birds in my,
Two.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and this will always be very, very sentimental to me because of the awakening, honestly, that I went through while I'm sewing. That's where I do most of my listening to things, is when I'm sewing or, whatever. So yeah, so it's very important to me. And birds. So I have become very connected to birds in the last few years. So my sewing machine faces a window, and there's always a ton of birds out there. So I just have fallen in love with watching the birds.
They're talking to you.
Uh-huh.
They're very much
They're
talking
very
to you.
much talking to me. I had a summer full of birds last year. Did I tell you about that?
I don't
Anyway,
think so, but I heard them when we were talking on the phone the other day,
Yeah.
and they were so loud. They were just, and I said, "Wait a minute, Debbie, hold on a minute. They want to say something. They're just louder than we
Yeah.
were on the phone," and it's like so cool. They were
Yeah.
really chiming in.
Can I share with you last year my birds?
Yeah. Go
Doesn't
for it.
have anything to do with quilting
are
or
cool.
massage.
That's okay. This is all part of
So-
getting to know you.
My mom passed away a year ago, May. And it was awesome. Two things. I couldn't sew for whatever reason. I just emotionally could not sew. So I spent the whole entire summer last year outside in our backyard. We have a pond. And we've had ducklings come to the pond, every year they come and looked hopeful, but they never stay. Last year, a mama duck, we started out with 7 ducklings, ended up with 3, stayed the whole summer. I got those babies to come and eat out of my hands.
Oh, fun.
It was so incredible and so healing that I said my mom sent me the birds all summer long to heal my heart.
Yeah,
I
she
had
did.
I had a hummingbird that I watched her feed the babies. In fact, I was down here vacuuming, and I felt like somebody had hit me at the side of the head and said, "You've been going to record that mama hummingbird feeding those babies. You better get up there, because that baby's going to leave the nest." Literally, I felt like it, so I'd go outside, set up my chair, turn on my camera, record for about 15 minutes, and the mom fed those babies twice.
Oh,
And I shut my phone off, and mama and the birds flew over the roof, and they were gone.
my
They were
gosh.
gone.
That's cool. Your mom told you to get up and get
She-
out there because you needed to have that.
Honestly, there's no doubt in my mind that that's exactly what happened. So anyway,
We have to listen.
part of my watching the ducks last year was we had a hawk that nested down the road, and that I always watched, and she was teaching her babies, and I watched her, and anytime she got in the tree above my ducklings, I was out there.
Like you better, oh, like she wanted him to.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
But Mama Duck knew that hawk was there way before I did. So anyway, it was an incredible experience, and I'm grateful that my mom sent those to me. I know she did.
And you have it recorded.
Yes, I do.
That's beautiful.
Yep.
That's so beautiful.
Anyway, thank you for letting me share that.
Oh, I loved it. Now I understand you had possibly 1 or 2 other items you wanted to show us that would spotlight your quilting a little bit. Go ahead and show us.
I'm gonna be the camera woman for a sec. Hopefully I won't fall over myself, but
So
there's one other quilt I want you to tell about.
okay.
You ready?
Okay.
Yes, but I'd like to share my heart first. Is that
Yes.
okay?
Absolutely.
I don't want this to feel like I'm showing off or any, you know what I mean? Because putting pieces of fabric together came to me at a time in my life when I really needed it. I actually had a therapist tell me that I needed to find something to be creative, to round myself out. What I have learned is that God has given us all the ability to be creative. And if we're not being creative, we're failing. We're failing God. We're failing us. And so I'm grateful that I've learned that. So I'm not showing off. I'm just sharing that I understand that God's given me a gift. And if I don't do it and I don't share it, then it's not a good thing. And it makes us very well-rounded.
Well, that's why I think something grabbed my heart when I was reading. I can't remember if you said, "Hey, Julie, I'm in Utah too." I think that's kind of how, but I had noticed you were just so special. I mean, I just have the best job part of Laura's journey because I get to just feel well, anybody that reads the comments can feel all the beautiful hearts, but you just drew me to me and I'm like, okay, there's something just so special. You need to share you and your heart. So beautiful. And you do this healing. And I had to convince you. We needed you to come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh, Debbie, please share you with us. And it's not easy coming on and just, but that's not what it's about.
No.
It's like I helped you think when we talked on the phone the other day, because, anybody can get nervous. It's like, it's not easy to just present yourself, but it's what we need to bring all of us together. And this world has been so disconnected and so chopped up, and hearts are, we're in loss and we're in loneliness for things we had. And I just thought, we need you. We need people to share their hearts. So thank you.
Well, and so back to being creative. It's a way to heal.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's my friend who I've encouraged to quilt. I told her, there's nothing that feels better than to start something and finish it.
Yeah.
And look at it. And she said to me, I really like it. Does that sound conceited? No.
I feel that way about my music.
Yeah.
When nothing else, I miss my grandkids. My husband can be all over the place. My brain can just be, and music, I'm just at peace and I feel joy. I just want to share it. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about this
okay.
quilt.
Okay.
I'm going to move us over. Hopefully the light.
Remember, home production, so nothing fancy here.
Yeah. I think can we see it there?
Yeah. Awesome.
That's so pretty.
So a year ago, I told you my mom passed away a year ago. In April, the end of April, I had a client tell me about a quilt that she had made using some old things that her mom had made. Anyway, it gave me the idea that I had stashed away, and you can see there's stains here. I had stashed away these dish towels that my grandmother had made. And when I first received them, I was really upset because they were torn and they were stained, and I don't know, I wasn't really happy. But then when my friend mentioned that what she had done with some dish towels that her mom had made, I decided that I needed to get these out and turn these into a quilt for my mom. Like I said, it was the end of April. Well, I realized within minutes that I needed to make this quilt now. And I needed to have it ready to give to my mom for Mother's Day because she wouldn't be here next Mother's Day. Something in my heart, I just knew that. So I got started and I went and got the fabrics that I needed to put it together. And about 3 days later, just as I'm down here getting ready to sew, my dad called me and my mom had fallen and broken a hip. And that was the beginning of the end of my mom's days. So I not only was taking care of mom, but I still felt driven to get this quilt done for her. Well, I was doing the finished work, the handwork on the binding, the day that she came home from the hospital on hospice. And I got to lay this quilt on my mom. And my mom got to wear that the last 11 days of her life. And this quilt just means the world to me. So thanks for letting me share that.
Beautiful. What a beautiful way to honor several generations at one time.
I know, right?
Yeah, with something tangible, not just saying, hey, I got my all-time high score on this video game, something tangible. I feel
And
that
you know
way
what?
when I do cross stitching because there's a result.
The stains and all. Thank you. Because I was really upset. I didn't
There's
want.
food on there,
Yeah.
there's meals, there's love. There's love all over it,
Yeah.
through and through. Beautiful.
Very
Okay.
Maybe-
nice.
No.
No.
Okay, we're gonna move back. Excuse me for the moving around.
You'll edit this out, right?
We are home production.
Well, you know, our viewers know to expect that. They can go to CNN if they want something polished or, you know, watch a 60 Minutes expose or something. That's not us. So is there anything else you'd like? Oh, I do see something you're going to share. And then I think we're going to be doing a tarot question before we leave. Summer. Beautiful.
So,
Pretty.
my sister, who's 6 years younger than I am, passed away 4 years ago. And she was a sewer as well. So 2 years ago, I decided that I needed to honor her and also gift my siblings. So for Christmas, I started using my sister's scraps. So these are my sister's from her stash. These are her
Spring
pieces of fabric. Can you see them, Laura?
Spring is beautiful.
Okay.
Autumn.
And this is my favorite.
There's little kittens, snowflake, little hat, and a little mug, and
See the
snow.
mug? See the mug?
I love it. It's got
It's an old lady at a
on
sewing
a sewing machine. Oh, that's so cute.
So I've made a set of these pillows for two of my siblings.
We had a loss. It's okay.
Two of my siblings, and I have 2 more to go. So I need a total of 20 pillows when I'm all done, but I've got 12 done. So for Christmas,
incredible.
you know, they just start off with the winter. I give them winter and probably spring, and then later in the year. Anyway,
Wow.
So, but
So lucky.
it honors my sister Tony, who's no longer with us, because I'm using her fabrics.
How neat. How neat. Hey, I understand as long as Chloe will accommodate us and let me have the tarot table. She keeps sneaking back on camera. I don't know if you can tell that. This is her 3rd time up here, but I understand you have a tarot question you'd like to have us address before we say goodbye to everybody.
I do. Along with everyone else, most everyone that I know that I talk to every day, the last 3 years with their families have been a whole different experience. I have 5 adult children. They're amazing human beings, but the relationship that we have now as a family is nothing. It's nothing compared to what it was 5 years ago. I can't even put my finger on what it is, but we are not the family that I would have thought that we would be. And I'm just hoping that the universe, God, will tell me what my role is in, I don't know, bringing us together again.
Okay. All right. That's a great question. So we're going to be asking the universe for insights about what Debbie, if there's anything Debbie needs to do or can additionally do to have the results and the outcome for family dynamics that she'd like to have. Okay. All right. I'm going to change the camera, move the cat, and we'll get going with this. Hang on. Okay, Chloe, this is not your bed. Move, scoot.
You got a full body shot there.
Yeah.
Oh, we love her. We love them.
She's over here like, hurry up. I want my table back.
She feels universal love there.
Yeah, yeah.
They both do. Yeah.
And they're close to me, and that's important to them. So, and they want to be more of a priority. Oh, tarot. I think that's part of it too. Okay, so here we go, ladies. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, Magician, Temperance, Ace of Swords. Yes, there is something you can do.
Awesome.
6 of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. Okay, let's take a look at this. What it's telling me, first of all, your question was indicated with the 5 of Wands. You mentioned you have 5 children. Okay, they're not feeling as close as they have, but it doesn't have to be a permanent situation. Okay, just the fact that they were indicated by the 5s indicate temporary situations. All right, so the division they're feeling doesn't have to be permanent. And I'm saying it won't be because on the tell us more about the situation card, we have a victory card with these 6 of Wands. Okay, so there's a victory here to be had. Now look, when we add one more person to the dynamic, we get a victory. And I think you are that victory element. The one that can remind the children that, you know, we're family. We need to build on what we have in common. We need to focus on what we share, not what we don't share. We need to, you know, I'm your mother. I would love to see us have X, Y, or Z be more of our focus. I'd love to have us agree to disagree, to set our differences aside and occasionally sit down at a family with the rule being we only share what's positive. We only remind one another of the good things, and we save issues and elements that aren't yet settled for another time and place, because we need to build memories that are positive. So I see where you can be part of that victory process for your family to make the 5 a temporary situation, okay, or something that's not permanent for your children. Okay, recent past, we have the Magician showing up. Magician has all the elements needed to make anything manifest they choose. So be sure and have your children join with you if they're willing to, but if not, do it without them. You know, to say, loving Creator, I want to make manifest a family that has closeness, even if it's a little different than I originally pictured for us, but more closeness. I want us to enjoy one another's company better. I want to make that manifest in this lifetime of mine, in this reality. And I want all the help that I can have from you to make that happen. And just know that by asking and very specifically saying what you hope for, what you need, okay, when you lay things out explicitly, you get explicit results. Now, you don't get everything you ask for, but you are, I think we're almost obligated to very explicitly say what we want. On the one hand, if we don't, who's going to know? You can say, oh, God knows everything. And yes, that's true. But I also think our loving Creator wants us to articulate our hopes and dreams and share them with Him. So I think you're being told that what will ease the process of manifesting this change you want. And it's already, this is the recent past card. So to some extent, you're already doing this. You've already laid this at the where you worship, at the feet of that. You have done that. Okay, so the groundwork has been laid, but it's very important. And if you haven't done it explicitly, don't be embarrassed. I want child 1 to forgive child 3 for this. And if I can facilitate that process, let me know. I want child 2 and child 4 to remember what a strong bond they have with the hobby of blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, be sure to do that. The Temperance card just tells us, first of all, this is kind of an angelic energy. So it's just a nod that you are going to have some help from your loving Creator in helping to move towards that closeness and the dynamics that your heart is hungry for, and to have reasonable expectations. It's not going to happen overnight. There may be a couple of issues or resentments between the siblings that will never get resolved, that they may just have to go, okay, you know, maybe you can have discussion night and then you can have connection night at your house, however you want to do it. But have, you know, don't have unreasonable expectations, but you are going to see some results. You are going to see some change. I say that because looking in the near future here, we have the Ace of Swords. This is a victory card, a success card. You know, it's also a heck yes card, but victory and success, breakthroughs are indicated with the Ace of Swords. Beautiful card to show what you can expect in the near future. Now, the Six of Pentacles talks about some generosity, okay? So, and the scales here are very even. So be careful if there's and you can't help this. In a family, there's always going to be a perception that so-and-so gets more, or so-and-so, you know, is special in this area and what have you. Just be very, very careful that you know you're keeping the scales even. They don't have to be equal to be even. Okay? An example is my son didn't really require a lot of financial help as a young adult. So I was able to give him some, not equal. My daughter needed actual physical help, or, you know, financial help with school, things like that, that my son had, you know, a full ride scholarship for. But by the same token, when I spent 300 hours on a cross-stitching picture that he had admired, that was for him. There wasn't equal treatment, but, you know, it was an evening out of the attention, the focus, the love, the time. So I think you're being advised of that, and it's tricky. It's tricky. You'll just have to use a mother's heart to see when I know I'm treating you guys not evenly, but equally. You know, you're getting, you know, you have different needs and I'm trying to meet them, but I'm trying to not meet them at the expense of someone else. Page of Swords is your diplomacy card. You have tact and diplomacy. It's going to help you have the success. So tap into your tact and diplomacy as you work on maybe changing those dynamics and drawing your family back together into a more nuclear, cohesive dynamic that you're hoping for, with reasonable expectations for change to not happen overnight, but to happen. And sometimes that explicitly also happens with this. Just tell your children, either out loud, singly, take them out for coffee. Here's what I'm hoping. Here's what I'd like to see. Here's what my heart longs for. Can you help me with this? Could you agree one day a month to have dinner with me? And it's a resentment-free, bickering-free time. Whatever you decide to do, what's going to be meaningful, go for it, because you have the tact and diplomacy to make this happen. We're seeing some success as long as you keep your expectations fairly reasonable, but know that success is being shown and that there's a gift of manifestation that you already have, that it's on the way. Sometimes before we even see the results, if we thank our creator for them, it's really effective. I know that at least some of the results I'm asking for are ahead of my way, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that can be powerful. So that's what the cards are telling me to tell you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Okay. Well, I hope that was helpful. It's been lovely getting to know you. And Julie, good to see you again. It's so neat that we had a subscriber that was in the same area, so you could actually be physically on camera together. And hopefully this will also start a friendship that'll build both of you up when you need it as time goes on.
Yeah, you know, we talked a little bit. We had never met. It's just, you know, we just hadn't been able to pull it together. But we talked when we first talked. Gosh, it was like we just knew each other. It was so weird, you know. It was like, oh, sure, you know, today's not gonna work out. Oh yeah, no big deal.
Did you know the other day we talked for 2 hours?
We did.
Over 2 hours.
And I felt bad, but
no,
we just really had
was
a
needed.
beautiful chat.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah,
And I'm so grateful for you, and thank you for shining your light out there and your beautiful talents. And you're my sister, and in this walk, we're all being drawn together. And Laura, thank you for doing that, giving us a way to do that. So yeah,
thank you.
Very fun.
Well, thank you, ladies, and thank you for everyone for watching. That's it for this subscriber spotlight from Laura's View and Tarot 2. So goodbye from me, and I think we'll get a wave and a goodbye from Julie and Debbie as well.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.